Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Lillian coming with another video. Hold on. The first time I went live, I didn't plug up the mic, so we had to start it over. Welcome to the new setup, okay? Look at the lights. Let's just enjoy. Let's enjoy. Listen. Shout out to my grandmother who helped me like invest into this, right? Because you know, the running joke is the lights, right? And it's like really distracting for me to be so close to a window. And sometimes I'm not looking at y'all, I'm looking at outside. I noticed that. Like when I watch my videos back, I'd be like, how can I improve? And so I was like, I need to learn lighting, right? So I took a break to learn lighting. Now this is the couch that my dog really loves. So I took her things away from this couch and put them over there, but she still likes this couch. She likes to lounge on this one, you know, because it's the smaller one. It feels more cozy. So you'll see my dog popping in, but let's just get into the lights. You know, I figured this whole thing out because I wanted the viewership, the viewing experience to be nice. You know what I mean? Like how can we do it? Now, apparently I was just going to have it on blue. You know, I was just going to have it on blue. But it had different modes and stuff. I just wanted it on blue. And you know, you see the race car vibe. Like, it's just a whole vibe. It's just a whole vibe. This is our new thing. I wanted the lighting to be consistent, right? And sometimes I can't record during like when the sun goes down or whatever the case may be. I just want to have a dedicated space, and we rearranged the entire living room for this because I had a vision. You know, sometimes when you have a vision, you just got to do it. Now, I like to use a remote. I don't like to use my phone, but I just want to show y'all. I've been having fun. I just want y'all to see it. Can you just look? I've been having fun. I figured it out. Y'all. And I was like, I cannot wait to show y'all. It just got different, like, you know, y'all can't see it, but it's doing different things. We're just going to keep it on blue. I'm going to stay focused. Now, the thing is, I did not keep up with like the computers right here, and I really feel like I need a remote for the computer, which is why I'm lounging right here, but we'll get it. We just want to test today. But today we're going to be talking about controlling our emotions. I know girl, let's talk about controlling our emotions. But I want to briefly touch on my last couple of videos because I kind of felt like the energy was off. You know what I mean? Like I felt like the energy was off. And so, you know, I received a lot of you guys' feedback, right? Receiving the feedback. And I always want to cultivate an environment or a platform where we can have healthy discourse, right? And I really appreciate the healthy discourse. And I really appreciate the coming as a woman one-on-one. I really appreciate that. You know what I mean? Because I love that. You know, like, let's have a conversation. And then also give me food for thought or whatever. And so the feedback was basically, we're talking in circles, justifying bad behavior, you know, being hypocritical because we work to end exploitation, but it seems like you're praising, you know, bad behavior or justifying mean girl antics and mean girl apologists with Tyra and Nikki, right? And it's just kind of like, I can see that. I can definitely see that. And I feel like my energy is coming from, you know, when you have ambition and you want to make something a success, you'll do anything to make it a success. That includes hurting other people. Is that okay? Absolutely not. You know what I mean? Absolutely not okay to hurt other people on your pathway to success and to being what you want to be and everything like that. You know, I don't always believe that the means justify the ends or the ends justify the means or whatever. The other thing is, thank you. Thank you for holding me accountable. I really do appreciate that. And then I don't know. I just kind of feel like when you're passionate about something and you really want to make it succeed, like sometimes we cut corners, right? We cut corners because we want to make sure that something happens, and sometimes we might be operating out of lack, because we don't think that we're ever going to get this opportunity again, right? And it's just like, we don't want to hurt other people along the way, but it's like, how do you balance between not hurting other people on your path to success versus sometimes people might be weighing you down, right? So how do you determine who is worth keeping on the ride and who's growing with you and who's not? Everybody is not going to go. I say that all the time. Everybody's not going to go, right? But does that mean that we got to cut everybody off and it's like you get in with a different group of people. Do we, get in with the group of people and then forget about those that have been with us since we came up, right? So what's the healthy balance, right? I definitely understand it. And the other thing is, I support women, okay? I support women. I am pro girl power, pro ambition for women. Okay? Always going to do that. And so I believe we can be a little bit too harsh on women because women have to deal with a lot. Okay? We are judged in ways that men aren't judged, or they're just boys will be boys type thing. Like that they can do the same thing, and when we do it, we some B words, we're just selfish, just everything, right? And it's not fair. And then also we publicize and scrutinize our women, but we don't do the same thing for men. We kind of overlook it. They wouldn't even get the same publicity, unless we were making it like you really have to make your voice heard for men to really be scrutinized. And even then, like, we don't always believe women. We don't believe women. Another man would have to hold him accountable, is what I'm trying to say. So it's just kind of like, we want to make sure that if we're holding women accountable, that we're not being overly harsh, because we are not as harsh like the things with 50 Cent. He go after everybody, right? That's why I don't be in people's business, but he go after everybody. He do. But I feel like he a little harder on women, right? Have you noticed that he have a little more smoke for women, black women in particular, right? Have we noticed that? You see, and it takes another man to hold him accountable as opposed to us supporting the women and looking out for women. Anyway, some actions are inexcusable, like girl on girl drama, being a mean girl, right? I don't like stuff like that. I feel like we should stick together. But, in the world that we live in, we have to understand that some women are just not a girl's girl, even though they put on that facade, right? And then the other thing is we don't want to be an assault apologist, right? And obviously we don't want to align and support the patriarchy. It's Women's Month, okay? It's Women's Month. And so we're going to be talking about, different topics and things like that for women, specifically women empowerment. And I feel like whenever we find ourselves going on, we have to make sure that we have the same smoke for men that we have for women, and anything like that. I also noticed different trends where we destroy our media and different cultural impacts because of the different things that we see in the news, right? And it's subtle. Now, am I saying that these public figures don't deserve to be held accountable for their actions? They definitely deserve to be held accountable. But what I'm saying is it creates a precedent for us to automatically overwrite, cultural impact. And I'm specifically talking about Cosby now. Okay, now I'm not talking about the other one. Now, we can do a little bit without, but it's just kind of like our individual contributions as a society. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like throwing away everything that we've contributed and then using that, like rewriting the narrative of our contributions, and then saying because we didn't contribute or the things that whatever, that we are not deserving of said media, or we are not deserving of. Because if you think about the Cosby Show specifically, and I'm not apologizing, I don't know how we got on this, but it's just like, I don't want us to erase the contributions of our women, of our people. Okay, I feel like there's a fine line, because at what point do we erase everything and now we don't ever have black sitcoms, or we don't have black producers, or we don't get the funding or things? That's why I believe we need to be self-sufficient, so that we can tell our own stories and have our own things, you see. And even though I believe in abundance and I believe that we can have all the opportunities that we want, when we live in and survive in certain systems, right, it's a little bit harder for us. We can't erase the fact that it's harder for us to tell our own stories and to paint our own narratives. And so we're usually at the will of other people and other powers that be. So if that is the case, then we have to make sure that we don't, just because we have problems, everybody else got problems too, right? And just because they have problems, they don't ever lose out on opportunity. We should still be able to have opportunities. We can hold ourselves accountable, but at the same time, don't try to erase our contributions. That's all I'm saying, right? I'm going to always support women, and I'm going to always support us, like pro-black women, pro-black people, pro-everything, right? Happy Women's Empowerment Month, and then happy Black History Month. I'm not going to erase the different things that we have to go through on a day-to-day to have things, okay? Period. And so with that, we have to control our emotions, okay? I feel like things are going to be happening in the news. Things are already happening in the news, okay? Let me tell you, things are already happening in the news as I am speaking, okay? And as you are listening, things are already happening, right? It is even more important for us to control our emotions. We have to control our emotions. One of my favorite movie quotes, I love to watch movies, and this quote comes from the movie Belle, okay? And it's by Lawrence Mansfield. He said, "The world is a devastating place. You must learn to protect your emotions if you wish to prevent matters of both law and love from destroying you." Okay? So that was a very heavy, kind of depressing, kind of grim, right, with the situation. But it's just kind of like, as a judge, he's speaking as a judge. He had to, pull a ruling over something that was going on in a movie or whatever. I don't want to spoil it in case you want to actually go watch it. But he had to do a ruling, and it was a tight ruling that he had to do, right? And it affected him personally, but he still had to make a choice, okay, to uphold based off the law. Judges have to do that. Doctors have to do that. First responders definitely have to control their emotions, right? And lawyers have to do that as well. You have to pull yourself away from the situation. You can't be too close to something, because if you use your emotions, you might make the wrong step. You might miss something because you're acting out of emotion as opposed to, logic, right? Intellect, strategy, okay? The other thing is, I like to watch a lot of podcasts and stuff, and I was watching this thing, and it was this like CIA, former CIA, whatever, and they was like, do not trust your emotions. They are trained to not trust their emotions, especially in things that are going on, right? Your emotional response would say that you're supposed to act a certain type of way, but your enemy might be looking for you to respond that way, right? To respond to the stimuli. You have to act different. You have to move in a different route. It's just like people are trying to get a rise out of you. People are trying to make you feel some type of way, right? And the question is going to be, what type of action would I have taken if I moved off that emotion? right? What is it that they want me to do? What exactly do I need to? They want me to do something, so they're going to do something to elicit a specific response. So what exactly are they looking for, right? And just don't give that to them. Do not give them what they want. That's the thing. We're not doing that. And that is what I'm trying. Like, I feel like if you watch the news, if you see all these different headlines, all this stuff keep happening, they want a response. The people want a response. We're not going to give a response. And even in your regular day life, I have learned not to respond in the way that is natural to me, right? Sometimes stuff happens and you just want to blow off. You want to go off. You want to just crash out. Like, crashing out used to be my favorite thing to do. Honestly, a hobby, really, it is. But I've learned that it doesn't accomplish what I feel like it should. Because when somebody slights you or do something against you and you just feel some type of way about it, you want them to feel how you feel, right? You want them to feel how you feel. And so as a response, you tell them, you know, hey, you did this, this, and this, and I'm not going to tolerate and da, 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 right? And in that, you let them know that they upset you. Right? And so it's kind of like you give them the upper hand. You let them know that they upset you, right? And then they know what can press your buttons. See, if you never gave them a response, they're not sure, right? They are not sure that what they did has pressed your emotion. They don't know if they really pressed the button right. You know what I'm saying? They didn't press the button. They don't know because you didn't give them the response. You didn't give them what they were looking for, right? They were looking for something and they couldn't find it, right? Because if you let people know that they can bother you or irritate you, they'll keep trying to do it because they know that that's going to make you tick. They're looking for a response. And before you know it, right? Before you know it, you have lost your opportunity because they are going to use that like, oh, now she's overreacting. Like they're always, oh, why are you so aggressive, right? They'll do a microaggression. You respond and now you're aggressive, even though they started it. Okay, they started it. It sounds very like elementary. It really does sound like little playground stuff, but a lot of adults operate from the same vibe. And so we have to grow up. Okay, and we have to look at things through a different lens. Okay, a different lens. Okay, let me see what else I put on here. Okay, when we appeal to our emotions, okay, we make rash decisions because we feel good or we feel bad. Okay, in that moment, and we can have lasting effects, lasting, long term. Right? Because you felt good or you didn't feel good or you were upset, okay? Or you were unhappy. Emotions are fleeting. They come and go, right? They come and go in little waves and different things of that nature. But the plan, the strategy, okay, that stays the same. That is what we're doing. The program is the program. We stick to the program. We have something in place. We fall back on that always, right? All right, so back to that quote where he said, the world is a devastating place. You must learn to protect your emotions if you wish to prevent matters of both law and love from devastating you. All right, if you know that the world is devastating, then you can anticipate devastation, right? You can anticipate the devastation and you can appreciate anything good that's happening to you. Okay, so we can appreciate the good things, but we already know. Y'all know my dog act like that. Anyway, hush! Sorry. You know, some things don't change, right? We know dog. She gonna guard. She gonna be on guard. It's okay, baby. It's all right. You did your job, honey. She not gonna bust a grape, honey. Anyway, now move. I'm trying to do my video. We'll cuddle in a minute. Okay. She likes to sit in my lap. Anyway, we can plan for bad times. Okay. We have a plan. We have a strategy. We have a response team in place, right, for devastation because we know that these things are going to happen because the world is what? A devastating place. The other thing is, I am never surprised by people. even though I pride myself on seeing the best in people, I know that people be peopling. It's human nature. Read the Robert Greene book, Human Nature. It's human nature for people to I don't want to say be selfish, but they're always looking to accomplish their own ends. It's in them, right? To always see how they're going to benefit from a situation. So they're always going to move in alignment with themselves. You can always expect stuff like that. And if they're not, then those are the people that are usually getting used. You can always expect people to, they talk about their problems, but they don't often solve their problems, right? They just want a listening ear. These are different things like that. And another thing is, I know most of us have screws missing, right? And very few of us are trying to order the parts, okay? So it's just kind of like when you have all of these different dynamics present in an interaction with another person, then you can automatically assume what's going to happen based on the data that is being provided, right? So it's just kind of like, I don't feel no type of way. People act the way people act. So we appreciate when people do the right thing, but what is the right thing, right? Doing right by me might not be doing right by someone else. So good and bad and morality is fluid. It's not black and white, because we all weren't raised the same type of way. So I don't feel no type of way when people don't act right, because I expect it. Now, am I saying that we have to be cynical and not see the good and everything like that? I feel like that's quite the contrary. Because we know that bad things happen and people can be bad, we appreciate and we really have gratitude for the good things, right? Like, you can appreciate the sunshine because of the rain. And also, it teaches you how to grow from a situation. If things were always wonderful, we would never, grow. We would never learn. We would never evolve as people, right? So we have to experience conflict. We have to experience some type of struggle so that we can learn, right? We have to learn. We come up with a new data set, a new situation. It's an opportunity for us to sharpen the saw, right? It's like, do you want to stay like, oh, I don't know how to do the lights, right? No. I'm gonna figure out, not only let me tell you, not only am I going to figure out the lights, okay, I'm going to figure out the lights. Do you hear what I'm saying? Not only am I going to figure out the lighting, I'm going to figure out the lighting, okay? Listen, opportunity. I feel like problems, that is an opportunity to learn, okay? Opportunity to learn, opportunity to become better and be better people, right? All right, so the next part, hold on. Now, I used to go off the rails, fly off the rails. I don't know if you can tell, but yes, I used to go off of the rails, right? Especially when things happen to me. Especially because, I grew up and I felt like I couldn't express myself, right? And so, I don't know. I don't want to say I couldn't express myself, but I was raised to hold it in. You know what I mean? I was raised to hold it in. And so as I got older, I wanted to rebel from my learning, right, of holding it in. Okay, I don't like to hold it in. I didn't like to hold it in. But as I got older and matured, I realized that it wasn't that I was being suppressed. I was being schooled. Like, they was telling me the tea. Like, they were like, my parents, they taught me the tea. They did. And I want to do what I want to do, right? But then I learned what it was for, right? And I'm gonna give you an example. Okay. I used to ruminate and replay situations in my head, right? Something happened to me, I felt some type of way, I would think about it. Oh, I should have said this, I should have did this, I'm gonna tell them that I'm gonna act like this, Yeah, I used to all of that, right? But it's just like I felt like everybody was coming like that. It was personal. I felt like it was personal, and I feel like sometimes it was personal, but at the same time, controlling my emotions and stepping away from the situation taught me how to really look at the situation from a different lens, looking at it from a different perspective, right? So looking at my actions or inactions, right? Because sometimes I can be passive. That's what I've learned, right? That's what I've learned. So it's like, am I being passive? Okay, am I being passive? Am I being aggressive? Right? Am I not communicating clearly? Okay, because maybe I didn't say something correctly. Maybe there's an issue with that, right? Maybe, hold on. It said, who or what am I really upset with? Sometimes when people do stuff to you, it don't even be them. Right? It's not even them. They did something small. It's not even them. You're not even upset with them. You're mad at something else, but because they did it at this specific time while you was already feeling about this, right? Now they finna get caught in the crossfire, right? All right? Are you overwhelmed? Okay? Are you overwhelmed? And if you are overwhelmed, did you ask for help? All right? Or did you overcommit? Overpromise, and now you can't deliver, and now you got anxiety because you put yourself. Did you say no when you should have said no? You said yes. You said yes. You should have said no. You see what I'm saying? The other one, are we taking responsibility? Are we taking accountability? Are we doing that? Okay. All right. People look out for themselves. Are you looking out for you? They looking out for them, but are you looking out for you? Those are the questions. Those are the guiding questions is, how can I prevent and mitigate this situation from happening in the future? See, when you have anxiety, right? And I learned this as a teacher, when you are in fight or flight, you can't respond appropriately to the situation. You can't because you're in fight or flight. When you're in fight or flight, it's either you're going to fight or you gonna run away. Those are the two, and you're not thinking clearly. So you have to get out of that cycle of fight or flight so that you can properly ask these types of questions. All right. When we have those moments, we don't have time to think about all of that because the feelings are so high, emotions are running high. So we have to learn on a physiology, we have to learn to balance those emotions. Now, I'm not a doctor, just a disclaimer, I am not a doctor. Okay, I don't have no degree in no medical nothing, right? But let me say, I believe that we all have screws missing. Something is wrong with all of us, and I feel like we don't want to use that as a crutch. And I feel like it's not more than it was in previous times. It's just that we have access to healthcare. We have access to the professionals and different things of that nature, right? We all have that. You think of all of our grandparents and great grandparents that always have stuff a certain type of way, getting on our nerves and all that stuff. We've always had little energy, you know what I'm saying? A little something about ourselves, right? And we just kind of deal with that. Even in my own family, around my cycle, when we get on our cycle, you need to be by yourself, baby. Okay, and when you're ready to come on out and be with us, that is completely fine. We're gonna give you your space and opportunity to go and be wherever you need to be at, and then when you're ready to come back, you can come back, right? But we never did anything like with medicine or anything like that. And so what I'm learning is premenstrual dysphoric disorder has to do with your not emotions but your hormones, right? Having to do with your hormones, because I don't feel like a prescription is going to solve all the problems. I don't believe that, okay? Because I took the prescription and I still felt the same type of way. I still wanted to quit my job. I don't know. I still want to do that. But the thing is, now I can reflect. Now I can plan. Now I can strategize. And every little thing, yes, it do get on my nerves. And yes, emotional response is warranted. But I don't have to go all out, right? Because I feel like oftentimes we overreact because we hold it in for so long, right? We're holding in our emotions. We're holding in. People do stuff to us, we might not respond. I don't respond right away. I don't respond. Sometimes it's a delayed response. But when you hit that nerve, when you hit the curve, I'm not going to get you just for that. I'm going to get you for everything that you did prior to, because I like to hold a grudge, and I'm learning that that's not healthy, right? I'm learning that's not healthy. That's what I'm saying. We got screws missing, and so I know that I got screws missing. You got screws missing. So I'm trying to make sure. Now I have, a toolkit that I got from Amazon. It's pink, and I'm trying to get my screws corrected, right? But everybody else, they're not doing all of that. They don't have their parts and everything like that. And so what I've learned is I don't want to fix other people just because I got my tools, right? Everybody don't want their screws fixed. They don't want it. They don't want their parts put back together. Everybody don't want that, right? So we can't overextend ourselves trying to fix other people who are broken, right? Some people, it ain't even screws. It's glass. It's glass. Okay, and we don't have the epoxy for that. You need epoxy for glass. That's what you need. And even then, you still gonna see the cracks. Okay, so we're not going. We can't. You know what I'm saying? See, at least I know that. Some people don't even know that. Sometimes people don't even know that they broken. And you see what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, and we're not expecting perfection. Not expecting perfection at all, even though I am a perfectionist, as you can see. You know what I'm saying? Not only are we gonna learn, we gonna excel. Anyway, it's about growth. It's about becoming a better person. It's about, and that's the other thing. That's why I feel like we shouldn't be so hard on ourselves and be so hard on each other. We have to concentrate on growth. Now, sometimes the celebrity, they don't even want to grow. They just too far removed. And you know what? Leave them there. Leave them there, right? And then also, we all have to take responsibility, and we all have to do our own work. So it's nobody's responsibility to fix another person, right? Or to put up with other people. Because sometimes people say, oh, I got this, and this going on, and take it or leave it. And I don't think that that's right. I don't feel like that's fair to the other person. We should all be trying to grow as people and make better choices and be better people and come up to new understandings and everything like that, right? Okay, now, when we talk about how do we really feel, we want to talk about what is the real issue, right? What is the real issue? I did some research, and I just feel like there's always an undercurrent. There's always something going on under the hood whenever you're experiencing something, okay? Something going on. For me, I do not like to work. I don't. Why? I feel like it's a cage. Some people might say that my cage is gilded, right? It's a gold cage, right? And they like that it's a gold cage, And for me, other people might have, silver. They got the silver cage. They got aluminum. They have copper or bronze, but mine is gold, right? And for me, it's not a matter of what color it is. It's still a cage, right? And so I don't be like, oh, well, this is good, and I should, I don't think like that. I think that it's a cage, and I don't care what color it is. I feel caged, right? I feel, stunted. I feel like I've done all of that I can do in this particular environment. I feel like there's more for me to do, and I have to do it, or I'm going to throw up or something. I just can't. I can't deal, right? And so with that, I don't want my work to ever feel like work. Right? I don't want it to feel like work. And this is me reflecting, being vulnerable, and sharing with the people, right? Okay. But the thing is work, right? So it doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter how many emails, whether they came to see me or they didn't come to see me. I would still feel some type of way because it's work. It's a job. Okay, the fact that we have to get up every day and go to work to pay bills, to have things that we're supposed to have, makes me feel some type of way. And the fact that I work, or there are people that, that don't think that something is wrong with that, right? Or are not actively trying to do something about it so that they don't have to deal with that anymore troubles me, you know? I'm actively planning to do something else, but people that don't plan to do something else, but they hate their job. You see what I'm saying? I work with people like that all day. I have been working with people like that for 7 years. So it's just hard. Okay, and I understand stability, yes, but girl, it weighs heavy on my spirit, right? It weighs heavy on my spirit. And so something like this, building this little whatever I just did, brings out the creativity in myself, right? It makes me feel better. It makes me navigate the world a little bit better. Like, it gives me something, right? And I've learned, if you've watched my other videos, you know that I designed an entire library. I was just thinking to myself, I'm good at designing spaces. I'm good at creativity, right? But let's talk about the fact that we have an issue with authority. But in order to be a leader, you have to be able to follow. You have to have discipline. You have to have consistency. These are things that we don't necessarily have all the time. Like, I was thinking, like, you know, the fact that I'm at this job or whatever job, like, this is the first time that I've had to stick with something, you know? Like I said, I wanted to play the flute. My grandmother got me a flute, and have we practiced? Exactly. So these are things that I'm seeing in myself and I'm able to do. The reason the clarinet stuck so long is because my mom made me do it. Because you have to do it. I like to pick things up, put things down, pick things up, put things down. And I feel like the reason my YouTube channel is so important to me is because it's the longest thing that I have been able to because I really enjoy it. I really enjoy sharing and I just really enjoy. I really do. And I went to school for this, right? I did radio, so I think I might have missed those lessons about like cameras and like lighting. We missed that, but we figured it out. YouTube, university, yeah. But like that makes me happy. So it's important for me to do that, but we have to have the consistency, the discipline, and all the boring, habits. It says you need structure to organize your thoughts and emotions and creativity, right? And so I needed to make a dedicated space for YouTube. YouTube needs a dedicated spot, and it needs to be beautiful. It needs to have some type of spontaneity so that I can, like, whenever I'm feeling it, it doesn't matter what time, I need to be able to create, and I need to feel the energy. Like, don't you feel the energy? I need that, you guys. But I'm learning to be a leader, to be an entrepreneur, to have your own business, you need to be an employee so that you can cultivate that discipline and just all the habits. Because I have learned that when I'm off and I have a week off, your girl will lay around, go shopping, go do all of these other things. So it's just like, you can't say you don't want to work, but you're not working at the thing that you're passionate about, right? Because passion and discipline, it has to be aligned, right? And so I'm working on myself. It is March, by the way, right? How are we doing with our goals? How are we doing? This is March. 3 months in, I done figured out the lights. We got a new setting, a new vibe. You know what I mean? How are we doing? And so the other thing is taking a step back. Use my example, obviously as a way for you to reflect on, what are you really upset with? So like, I can't be upset about work. I try to find creativity, but I can't if the job is boring, the job is boring. Just use the time of the boringness to how can we make something else when I have that time, set myself up for a better opportunity. How can I set myself up at the time that I need to set myself up. That's all we got to do, because we can't be upset with these people. We can't be upset with the system. Okay. We have to work within the system and create our own systems so that we can get where we want to be. Right. The other thing is with the news is designed to keep you in fight or flight. That's what it's designed for. Right. Because they want you to believe in whatever it is that they want you to believe. They want you to have the opinion of whatever it is that they want you to have the opinion of. Okay. The news controls the narrative, controls the emotion, control the action. Right. So, and you think about it, if you control people's perception of things, then you can control how they act and what they do. Discreetly, of course. So not mind control. You don't have to put the aluminum foil on, but it's just like, think about, why are people telling you certain things in the way in which that they're telling you? Why are we using certain verbiage, to convey a message? What response are you trying to get here? What exactly? Because we can tell the news, right? We can tell the news, but when we start putting different adjectives and adverbs and things like that, getting a little colorful with our language, then we start to, you see what I'm saying? Because a word is a word, right? But when you use certain words, when you use certain language in different tones, and that's why I had a video on communication, when you start saying stuff a certain type of way, then you're trying to get a response. So my question is, what is the response? What action would you like? What exactly do you want? You see what I'm saying? Because if I said, hello, how are you? Right? And I said it nicely, okay, boom. And then if I said, hello, how are you? And the voice went down a little bit. It don't sound like I was happy to talk to you. It don't sound like I want to talk to you at all. Right? So it's just kind of like, you can say things, but the way you say it, like, what exactly are you looking for? Right? Okay, so I was raised to control my emotions, right? My mom and my dad taught me how to be calculative, how to calculate. Every day we're doing math. We don't think that we're doing math, but we're doing math every single day. Everything is a math problem. Every day is logic. Every day, if-then statements, syntax. That's what we're doing every single day. We're doing algebra every day. And we don't even know that we're doing algebra. You see what I'm saying? We don't know that we're doing calculus every single day. We are, the most important lesson I learned from them is to, the left hand never let the right hand know what they're doing or something like that. And I always didn't understand it, but now I do. And it's just kind of like, when people do not know things, or when you don't give them the response, you now have time to strategize and to plan and to regroup. Okay? You have time to reconvene. You have time to pull yourself together, right? When you don't respond right away, you have time to get your plan together. Okay? You also have time for them to apologize, but then you also have time for them to slip up and hang themselves, right? They gonna slip up because they always do. They always do. You can always trust people to be people. You can always trust people to do whatever it is that they do, like they do, always do, girl. So it's just kind of like, and the best battle is something that you never have to fight, right? People slip up every single time. They always do. So it's just kind of like, you don't have to rush in. You don't have to push forward. You don't have to, swim upstream. Look at me getting my words together with the Invisalign in. I'm wearing my Invisalign. Anyway, and I felt like I felt like I had to resent, because I wanted to big up people, right? I wanted to gloat. I wanted to get my lick back publicly. I spoke too soon, okay? And I feel like that's the disconnect when we have our emotions. We want to get our lick back, and we want people to know that we're getting our lick back. We want to tell people off right away. We want to, but it's just like, control your emotions and practice your chess game. Every time you encounter a new problem, that's a new opportunity. I feel like problems are opportunities for us to perfect. When there's something we don't know, opportunity to learn, opportunity to get better and to be better and to do better. Because when you know better, you do better, right? Now, lastly, because I see we've been on here for 43 minutes and I'm having fun, you guys, because of the lights. It's just amazing. Anyway, is controlling our emotions, is that the same thing as suppressing our emotions? No, I don't think so. I do believe that emotions are valid, right? Emotions are valid. How you feel is always going to be valid. Like, how but it's how you respond to it. It's how you respond. You can feel how you want to feel, but when you're in battle, you have to hold that in. You can feel how you want to feel, but you have to make aligned choices. Like, you have to think about it. The firefighter can be like, oh my God, it's a fire. It's a fire, Lord, have mercy. But he has to control his emotion, right? Because he got to go in there and save them people. Right? They got to go in there and save them people. They got to go get them people. It's hot, but we got to go get them people up out of there. We got to make the correct choices. The doctor, the surgeon, you having real ER, you having real problems. Okay? You going through some real stuff, and they have to be able to control their emotions in that moment. Now, they might go home, can't save everybody in the doctor's office, in the emergency room, can't save everybody. But we do the best we can in the moment. And sometimes you might have to go home and cry at your house by yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you have to do what you have to do to maintain, on the back end. But it's just kind of like when you are in the field, on the field, you have to do. Listen, when they playing football, they can't, somebody hit them, they doing the blockers, all this other stuff. They can't just start a fight, because now we gonna lose, because they gonna take the points and all this other stuff. The referee gonna say, no, you have to control your emotions in that moment. And we get them back, we gonna get them back. We gonna get them back on the back end. Practice the chess game, right? Your poker face, you gotta have that together so you can win. It's gonna help you win. It's gonna help you be better. It's going to help you, right? We're not suppressing the emotions. We're not hiding how we feel, in long term, but in that moment, we have to just control it. We have to do what we have to do, whatever you got to do. Talk to a doctor, whatever you got, get your hormones, whatever. I'm not a doctor, but you got to get your stuff together so that you can properly respond, so that it's in the best interest of you. Really you, but I'm going to say everybody involved, right? When I say everybody involved, I really just mean you. You got to do what you got to do for you. Right, because we're going to get them back. Trust me, Scorpio moon, we're going to get them back. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that at all. We're going to get them back. But it's much more effective to do it on the back end. And then also you don't have to gloat. The personal gratification of getting people back on the back end, right, is much better. Because in the end, we know, and we don't have to rub it in because we're better. We're better. We don't have to rub it in. They'll get it. They'll get it. Now at this point, I'm just having fun talking to the screen because y'all, I'm having so much fun with these lights. Tell me, do you like the lights? Now I'm going to move the camera over here so you can just see it. We're done, but I bought these tube lights. It's like a lamp, and it's really tall, you guys. And so I don't know if you can see, I'm just testing it. And so the background is gray. I thought it was ugly, just to have gray, but apparently gray works. I said I'm gonna trust the professionals. I'm not a professional. I'm going to just do what they said. They said put gray up. I put gray up and it works. So, shout out to Grandma for helping me invest in my vision. And and I'm also, y'all, shout out to my budget because I'm using drugstore foundation. And I've been saving for this because I've been knowing that I wanted to get this. So I've noticed that one light be off because I have two remotes, but we're only going to use one. Okay, I just want to show y'all this. Go get y'all one. I got 2 of them. Go get it. And they have white too. So I'm gonna show you white. And so you can see that that's gray. And that's actually not that bad. It's a cute color. And green, red. I don't think red is my color. I think blue is my color, but it makes my hair look silver. I don't know. And you can turn it down. Oh, I like that. Okay, y'all. I'm gonna go. I'm having fun. But I just want to show y'all, like, I want to increase, like, make things better. Okay, I'll see y'all in the next video, okay? I will see y'all in the next video, all right? Hearts. I gotta figure out, okay.